Welcome back to episode 3 of Like Father, Like Grandson podcast. I'm joined with my hosts with the mosts, Leo and Giancarlo Zanolini. How you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, Rafa?
Hey,
Hi.
Leo and Rafa, great to be with you guys again.
Yes, sir. Giancarlo's ready to go. He's in the living room. He's about to skip up out of here. Where you going? Where you going, Grandpa, today?
I'm heading on my way to Turkey.
Something casual, just going to Turkey.
It's not going to be a hair implant, I suppose, right? It doesn't need one.
No. We're staying the southern coast of Turkey.
On a boat. You guys are getting a boat?
Yep, we're going with friends for a week and sailing around the islands there.
Dang, okay. How's your weekend, Leo? I don't even want to say what I'm doing this weekend. I feel like it's going to sound lame compared to that.
Anything we say will sound lame compared to that, right, Rafa?
All right, cool. Well, hey, today we're going to be talking about money. Money, okay? I think it's something important, something that sometimes people don't talk about enough with the younger generations. I'm sure you guys will agree. And it's something that has been, the concept around money and its power and how it can be used as a tool, fortunately, has been taught for me from a young age from Leo or from my dad Leo and my grandpa Giancarlo. Now, starting off that subject on a little bit of a lighter note, let me ask you, Leo. I mean, what's the most, or Giancarlo as well, whoever kind of comes to mind first, what's the most memorable thing that you guys have ever bought? I mean, what comes to mind?
I bought fake stocks in the Brazilian stock exchange in the 1980s when I was 12 years old, and the prices were not on your phone. They were listed on the newspaper economy section. So I would choose random companies that I fake bought, and then I tracked the price every day to see what happens to that. And I didn't know what stocks were or prices, but I just felt cool looking at those numbers. See what happens.
It's like, wow, it's a real Zanolini children pastime. Create fake stocks
Something
at 12
like that.
years old. That's great. How about you, Grandpa? You have one that come to mind?
Well, I think, purchasing something, it was never something that, really impact me, the material part of it. I think from an early age, I always perceived money as a means to something, as a tool, let's say it. So I remember, when I was young, I would sell my teeth, when I was 7, teeth were falling off. There was an aunt that, in a saying within the family, that if I put my tooth under my pillow, next morning there will be a small bill there. And that would be good. That will be something that will allow me to do something. Not that I needed to buy something, but, saving and piling up. And that's one of the earliest thoughts that of how useful the tool called money will be through my life.
Mm. That's so awesome.
Selling your milk teeth to buy candy. That sounds like a dentist's dream.
Yeah, it sounds like I mean, if the goal is to lose more teeth, I mean, you definitely want to keep reinvesting in candy. So, I mean, I guess that was a smart move by you. But it's funny because, like, our little cousin Calvin, how old's Calvin, Grandpa?
7. He's 7.
He's 7. So our little cousin Calvin, I got married in March. For those of you, no one probably knows. I'm definitely not posting it all over social media and talked about it over the last couple of months. But I got married in March, and in our welcome party, which is like a little party we had the day before we got married, my little cousin Calvin, he's 7, we had lemons on the tables as decorations because it was like an Italian themed party. And next thing you know, Calvin grabs all the lemons from the table and is going around the whole welcome party trying to sell the lemons for money. He even goes up to Katie's dad, who was funding everything, trying to sell him a lemon and, sneak $1 away from him and stuff. And even coming up to Katie and you could see these values, they flow through the blood, these entrepreneurship. But, that was a funny moment. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yes, I do remember. And it's interesting because it will happen. And that's what we got to, balance it and keep, nurturing our kids through life on those, understanding that, well, yes, it's good to be initiative, but taking somebody else's stuff to sell that
Maybe it's
might
not a
get you in
good.
trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember on Rich Daddy Poor Daddy book.
Mm-hmm.
There is a saying that the rich daddy told the two friends, Kiyosaki and his friend, that well you should make some money, and so they went out and they start making coins in the garage, melting lead and making false money because they understood that they could make money and that would work. So that's how interesting it is to push children, in one way, but we gotta understand that they have a different perspective of life, but
Yeah.
understanding what we're trying, what we meant with the directions that we push them. It's a beautiful voyage, this voyage.
Awesome, awesome voyage. I love the word voyage. I know you got the boat already on your mind, Grandpa, but let's stay here for a little bit. I all right, cool. So hey, let me ask you guys. Pretty plain and simple. I mean, Leo, what does money mean and signify to you?
Again, and I keep coming back to the perhaps my favorite word, one of my favorite words, and certainly my favorite asset, which is freedom, right? And it, this money doesn't buy everything for sure, but it certainly can buy you freedom in the sense that if you have money enough to not be hostage to it,
Mm-hmm.
that's great because you don't have to be doing things that you don't want to do because you need to find that minimum level of money to buy what to pay for the bills that you have. And then again, that's very individual specific because you know people call freedom different things and people respond to different things and people have different costs to achieve that freedom, right, because of lifestyle choices. So to me, the most wonderful thing that money can give you is an element of freedom, which not maybe full freedom, total freedom in that sense, but it does give you that peace of mind that hopefully can channel you to do things that you would like to do rather than having to do things that you don't want to do just to stay afloat.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like that wonderful saying. Money is a terrible master, but an excellent servant.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So
That's a beautiful one, Rafa. I like that. Thank you for teaching me.
that wasn't me. That's from P.T. Barnum. Right there, so that's a great one for sure. I mean, for me, I agree. Leo, Dad, I always not sure what to call you on these, but for the sake of history, Leo, I agree with you. And actually, I was thinking about it too before we got on here. Like, how would I describe it for myself? And I mean, you kind of took my answer, right? I was gonna, for me, same thing. Like, money is a tool, right? Money doesn't buy happiness, but it's a tool that can buy yourself freedom. And once you have, and what freedom does, it allows you to have freedom of specifically of your time, right? And when you can dictate what you do with your time or when you want to do something, like, time is the real currency, right? But in order to get your time, a lot of times you need to have money or have made money, right? So anyways, for me, it's a tool that gets you freedom, that gets you your time, and time is the only currency that you'll never ever get back, right? Which is, I mean,
Yeah,
invaluable.
and it's valuable and it's diminishing and it's definitely something that tremendous value. Uh, but I would just add to what you said about that. It's not that the most money will buy you time as this is the ultimate goal. No, I think the ultimate goal is happiness. However you describe happiness, and different people have different descriptions for happiness. But being happy, irrespective of the time, if you can be happy at earlier, great. But that's the ultimate goal. I think happiness, fulfillment, and happiness is the ultimate goal that we strive to achieve. And everybody gets a shot of defining what happiness means to them.
It's true.
And
It's
Yeah,
true.
Rafa and Leo, that's kind of a spectrum, of options. And Rafa just mentioned, money as a tool. And let's say, on the simple initial stage of using the tool, the money tool, when you're first learning to use it, a good goal might be to have enough money saved that if you don't like your job, you can resign. because you know you're going to have a job in 2 or 3 months. And if you don't have a dime saved, you are a slave, paycheck to paycheck. Otherwise, you don't eat, and you might be evicted if you're renting. But if you save for 1, 2, 3 months, you have an inertia that will carry that effort of saving, delaying gratification in order to save some money. That's the first drop of freedom that Leo so nicely puts. On the other end of this spectrum, if you've done it through life, and all the material things are kind of covered and you don't have to worry with it, then you start understanding the highest level of the two, which is doing good, either philanthropy, educational, teaching new generations. So there is a wide variety of use for these two beautiful, enormous power to call money. But be aware of it. Learn how to use it.
Yeah.
Like an electric saw can save you a lot of effort, but can
Cut off your
head
arm.
off
Yeah.
if you don't know how to play it, just similar to what you said a moment ago. So those are the edges of the spectrum of the power of that tool. But that's why we got to teach everybody, especially kids, to start using it as early as possible and respect it. Don't let it become your master,
Right.
but master how to use that tool to the maximum efficiency.
Shout out, PT. There you go, Dad. Now, Rafa, you made us curious. We said kind of early memories about, instances that money play a role in our earlier life. Do you have one to share with us?
Yeah, I do actually. I think it'll be easier if I pull it up for you guys. So this is our family here: Grandpa, Vovolo, my mom, my little brother Victor, and I. And these are all $1 bills. But at the time,
Wow. Let's make sure you explain those hundreds of dollar bills with children. And come on, man, don't put me in a tough spot here. Explain this right.
So this is when we were living in Malaysia still. And we came over here in summer vacation. I don't know how old I was here, maybe 12, 13. My little brother looks like he's like, what, maybe 5, 6, 7. Anyways, so we come here and Grandpa unveils these dollar bills, which, it looked like it was the most millions amount of money at the time. And I mean, from my memory, right, I just remember thinking we were rich and a millionaire forever and I never have to. I mean, you can tell based on my shirt. Right, I'm not lazy. I just really enjoy doing nothing. So I mean, no. Just jokes aside, though. I mean, it was
It's a fake message. I don't know. That's a joke. Because you, as a child, you did not enjoy doing nothing. I can
it's
vouch
true.
for that. That's a night. That shirt is not. It's ironic.
It's a joke. Yeah, I thought it was a funny shirt. Coming.
Yeah,
They didn't make funny shirts all the way to Malaysia, so I thought when I saw funny shirts in
that's
America, I
pretty
thought I'd
good.
wear it. But no, I just remember seeing it. And I guess like a feeling maybe I could describe or a word I can describe is like abundance, right? Not having narrow-sighted, knowing that like we live in a country here in America where there's an abundance of money to be made in various different aspects. And if you're choosing to be broke, like it's a choice. I truly believe it's a choice. And sometimes it might be even a disease, like a mental disease, right? That like you're convincing yourself of being a victim because there's so much different opportunities and ways to make money. That money's abundant, right? Money's abundant. You got to be brave enough to be willing to obviously go out there, work, dig opportunities, and get it, right? A lot of times, there's a funny saying that money's great. It's great to get, but a lot of times it's dressed up in overalls and it looks like work, so people don't like to do it. But I don't know. I just remember this is one of my earlier memories with money, and I just remember feeling like an abundance, right? Not necessarily a feeling of like rich and entitlement, more so feeling like wow, like there's a lot out there, right? That was my thoughts. I don't know, Grandpa, what does this picture mean to you? Maybe give us some better context than me. Why did you do this? What were you doing it for? Fill us in a bit on that.
Well, it's an excellent example of what you're commenting just a moment ago, that people might think that money is everything, or the other side is money is nothing. I cannot achieve it, and you cannot do it. When you're young, when people are young, they absorb like a sponge. So whatever you put in their minds, they will carry. And there is a window of opportunity, through whatever 20s, from whatever 4, 5, 6, they really start interacting and start understanding and asking questions until they go through college. Whatever you put in their mind, that's what's going to stick. So I feel really, really, really bad about so much lost opportunity, and I think we didn't even have $1,000 on those dollar bills, and see what kind of impact that kind of opportunity, exposure. And I don't know if you remember, Rafa, the conversations we had around the table, because emotions are the ones that are keeping us. But basically, we're talking about, how can we help people with that? And you guys were so involved in figuring out how can we help people with that money. It was not to buy anything, but how to care for that, how to make it alive and survive the weeks and all of that, and how can we help people. And those are the things that we're discussing. And I was really paying attention because you and Victor, you had different visions and you have different dreams on those. So that's the exercise. Money should never be the goal. Mm-hmm. Money should always be seen as a tool to achieve goals, as something that will empower you to believe in your dreams. And that was my goal through that, and I'm so happy that we did that. And you probably remember, and I don't know if you have it or not, how that's one way of how we help people with some money. That we use that meeting there. We discuss about making money, and we discuss about how can we help people. We were asking, should we help children? Should we help homeless people? We're just putting ideas beyond day to day on your mind. Victor was 6 or 7, and you were like 12 or 13. So have kids thinking about it from early age. Mm-hmm. And you probably have, and Leo is aware of that also, that, after the same trip, you start making your own money probably for the first time in your life, with the investment of, $5 and buying water and all of that, those things. It's part of this process of, educating people through life.
Awesome. 100%. I'd say that's definitely one of my earliest memory of money. Leo, do you have any, what's your earliest memory of money? Do you remember anything?
Yeah, I told you about not necessarily money, but tracking.
Right. The stocks.
But I have a interesting story. Your mom will certainly remember that because it's one of my first, maybe the only time in my life that I was hanging out with friends, including your mom, before I was dating your mom. So that didn't happen much often in my life because most of my life, I know your mom as my girlfriend, fiance, and wife. But this is the summer of 1988 in the same neighborhood that 2.5 years later, I would start dating your mom. But back in 88, she and her sisters have just moved to Rio, and we were spending the summer there, just like I said, the summer that I spent 2.5 years, 2 years later, give or take. And my cousin and I, we decided, with the help of my other cousin and some friends, would set up a kind of a fast food stand in one of our friends' house. It was called Mick Mac, remember to this day. And we created a menu, and we advertised through the neighborhood, and we borrowed money because we didn't have money to buy the ingredients that what we're going to need. And, we were serving sandwiches and sodas and whatnot. And we set it up. We hired our employees, which were friends and a younger cousin, and we were running the place. And we did that for 1 or 2 days, and after that we paid back the loan that we used to buy because we sold out, and we paid the employees that helped us, and we divvy up the profits at the end of that. And I remember we made a good chunk of money. I can't tell you exactly how much it would have been in today's dollars, but it was a good chunk of money. And then we were talking about, okay, what we're going to do with this money, right? And I wish I had probably invested that money 40 years ago, give or take, a little less than 40 years ago, because the compound interest on that money would have been a lot today. But instead, we decided to we decided to go to the supermarket and buy everything that you always wanted to buy when your parents were grocery shopping and they never did, right? Whether it was like the little specialty cheeses, and okay, remember, this is the late 80s in Brazil. So supermarkets, were more focused on rice, beans, meat, eggs, and milk rather than like the cool stuff that we see today. But we still had cool little things. So we bought like the newest yogurt that had been issued recently, and the specialty cheese and the little chocolate and the smoked bacon, whatever it is that you always dreamed of buying and your parents would never buy on their grocery list, because why waste money on stuff like that? And then that's where we spend our whole money: polenguinho, danoninho, stuff like that.
That's
And
hilarious.
when we came back with like a half a cart full of stuff like that you never got to buy, and that's how we spent the money from our proceeds. But it was a fun little experience, and we remember to this day, which I'm sure everybody else that was involved still remembers: the
That's
parents,
awesome.
the friends.
Mac Mini. It was called Mac Mini. Mini. What was it?
Mick Mac.
Mick. Oh, so that's why Grandpa ended up getting into McDonald's later. You
He was already. I don't even know if he was still, probably, what, I don't know, 88. Were you still at McDonald's in '88?
No,
No, right?
I
No,
had
you're out.
resigned already. Yeah.
oh, you had already
Not,
resigned.
yeah, yeah, but not long before that. So anyway, maybe it was a dig at McDonald's, right?
Yeah, but
For Mickey Mac.
McDonald's was probably, really live on your mind
For
because
sure.
McDonald's
For
was,
sure.
Yeah,
something really special
yeah,
in Brazil back then.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Disney World, right? So everybody was like, the hype at that age
Yeah.
group was to go to Disney World. So between Mick, and McDonald's Mac, that sounded like a cool, catchy name for a
Right.
children's, teenagers, early young teen
And for
fast
those
food
who
joint.
don't know,
Mickey Mac.
it goes dois hambúrgueres, alface, queijo, molho especial,
Especial
cebola,
cebola,
picles
peixe
num
num pão
pão com
com
gergelim.
gergelim.
Yeah, but you
Bang!
got but you gotta say that in less than five
Go
seconds.
say it. 5 seconds. Go for it.
Dois hambúrgueres, alface, queijo, molho especial, cebola, pique no pão com gergelim.
Well, tell them what it's all about. I don't even know if you know, Rafa.
Well, isn't
This,
it in? Or you say, yeah, you go for
yeah,
it.
go ahead, go ahead.
Well, from my understanding, it was some promotion that McDonald's had when they came out with the Big Mac, where if you could go into the store and say, this is essentially in Portuguese, every ingredient in the Big Mac. If you could say it in under X amount of seconds, you got a free combo. Something like that, right?
Yep. We were in Rio de Janeiro, which is a huge city, but we had like one or two stores, or three stores. McDonald's was just starting in Latin America, and so we didn't have the money to pay a huge, like New York, Los Angeles cost of a 30-second ad on TV. That wouldn't work at all. But then when we got up to five stores I think it was five stores, for the first time we were able to do something. So we did a 15-second commercial that would be cheaper. So how do we do a fast commercial that conveys that important message? And so quickly saying the ingredients, the recipe of a Big Mac, two hamburgers, lettuce,
Cheese.
cheese, and all of those. In 15 seconds, you get a free one. And
A free
man,
Big
that,
Mac?
that really hit hard.
It was a free Big Mac?
I'm making up. I can't recall.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
half a century ago.
Right.
But there was something to win. There was something to gain.
Got it.
And so that was a real hit and a real smart move for McDonald's. By the way, talking about McDonald's, nowadays all over the world, McDonald's has the meal menu. That give me a meal and this and that and that. That was started in Brazil in the 80s.
The
Because
meal,
the purchasing
the
power
McMeal.
was so low, that the average check was terribly low. And so we said we gotta figure out a way to increase the average check. Each average check, every single person or a group of person or a family would have a cashier receipt. The average receipt was 61 cents of a dollar. So it was really challenging. So we invented the meal package. Because of such a low purchasing power, it was a hamburger, not even a cheeseburger, a small Coke, and a small fry. That was how the meal concept was born in McDonald's in Brazil.
So it started there with you and this guy, your team.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn, that's marketing genius right there. That is marketing genius.
Next time I'll tell my McDonald's story about how McDonald's helped me gain notoriety on my school.
Go ahead, go ahead.
But before that, Rafa, you have something on the studio chat there. That
let me share my screen so you guys can see.
Yeah.
Let me make sure you guys can see it. Can you guys see it?
Galo frito.
All right. Is this it? What is this, Leo? What are we about to see?
I have no idea.
Let's see what it plays.
Você gostaria de doar 48 centavos para...
Is this what you wanted to send? This is what you sent me, Leo.
No, maybe I don't know. Is that what I sent you? I was trying to send you this. Hold on.
What was it? Dois hambúrgueres?
Jingle, McDonald's jingle in the 80s.
That's. You sure you got what I sent you?
Yeah.
Okay, because I have something. That first one here.
That's it.
Nice.
See how short it is?
Yeah, that's
But
quick.
it's music, and Brazilians love, music.
Yeah,
and
they do.
And so the challenge was to memorize that thing because you had to go in line and sing it to the cashier.
And there was a big clock on top of. They put a clock with the second hand.
Sounds like hell to be working at that cashier, hearing that shit all day. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Okay.
And Rafa, one last thing on that. There were so many people coming into the stores that we had to put dividers because otherwise to go in and come out outside like lane splitters, hard wooden lane splitters. So people will go in towards the cashiers and then come back around it. So otherwise they will do like 8 levels of people blocking people that was already bought and purchased and paid, couldn't walk out with the tray, would drop things on the floor. It was a mess. So we had to put dividers on the counters of the stores.
That is so
my quick story of McDonald's helping me in the social scale of my school.
McDonald's cloud.
Well, think about this, right? So this is, I want to say, the mid to late 80s, and I was probably in 5th grade or something like that, and I was studying in an old boys' school. And as you know, the dynamics of elementary school on an old boys' school, revolves around different things, including how strong you are, how good you are at soccer, and other things. So I played soccer. That helped. It was not that strong. That didn't help. But I did have a lot of cards, like bonus cards, that I managed to get a hold of. Thanks, Dad, for free McDonald's items. And think about this. McDonald's was brand new in Brazil, and they had just opened a store within walking distance of my school. So can you imagine how popular that store was?
That was gold in your hand.
After the school bell rang and all the boys walked out hungry and they had a new McDonald's, was like the coolest thing in town. Walking distance from the school. It was, man, it was all the kids were in that. And I had little vouchers for French fries, for burgers, and I had a stack of those. And I'm like, oh my God. So as you can imagine, I was the guy in the joint that had that controlled the cigarettes. Yeah. So I was King Rat for those James Clavell's fans of the book King Rat. I control like the most precious asset. So there was never a soccer game ever again that I wasn't a starter. After that. So anyway, so that's a cool story.
Rafa, so that you understand, it was the size of a business card with a high quality picture, either or of a meal or a Big Mac or a cheeseburger or a filet of fish or
burgers, fries. No, maybe you gave me the cheaper ones because it was burgers, cheeseburgers, and fries, which was good enough. and a couple of Big Macs. It's right, but this was gold. It
And
was
that little
gold.
business card was called BOG, BOGs,
Yeah,
Be Our
yeah.
Guest.
Be our guest.
Oh
This
my
this is all
God.
marketing stuff you guys come up with for your to get people in the door, right? Get people liking it, get people wanting it, coming back for more, right? You get a taste once, you love it, you crave it.
Exactly. Just
Now think about.
again, following that track that you just noticed, McDonald's, when they started in London, nobody would walk into the stores. Zero. So what did they honor? Because it was a franchise, a franchisee that went left, sold his franchise stores in the United States, moved to London to open up a McDonald's in London, and he started his new franchisee business there. But nobody, no British would go in. Oh, this is Yankee food. No, that's no good. And this and that. So he was standing on the sidewalk in front of his stores with a tray full of Coke cups, free Coke, and to stop people to talk about it, to call attention to the store, and then that broke the ice, and it became a success.
That's awesome. That's super cool. We'll have to have a whole episode about marketing. You can tell the story about the keys in the car at the shopping mall. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea for the next one for sure. Grandpa, did you ever like, for example, I can remember me, trapping the water bottles, moving the water bottles. I know my dad said with his small business with the Mac Mini or Mac little
Micmac.
Mac. Did you ever have what's the earliest business you remember kind of running?
My father worked like 12 hours a day,
Uh-huh.
and I was in school, and we didn't see much each other during the week. But he worked either on Saturdays. But on Saturday, I didn't have school. So I would wake up early, go with him to his job, and I was just wandering through the factory that he worked at. And there was a kind of a trash bin on the end of the factory that all the scraps, metal scraps, and those kind of things were thrown away or sold as scrap. And one day I found a treasure trove. I found some round aluminum discs that some employee, I don't know who, had painted with scenes of beaches and palm trees and colorful and the discs aluminum maybe 5 inches diameter, because it was a pan factory, aluminum pan factory. They would stamp things and do pans and this kind of thing. And they were anodized like yellow, red, blue, pink, you name it. And I asked the guy, "Can I take those?" And he said, "Yeah, sure, that's trash. You can take it." They probably were gonna sell it, but he didn't care about giving me, a few of those. So I bought, and I asked my father if I could. He said yes. So I put those in the car. We drove back home, and in front of where I lived, there was a public market that there was feira. We call them feira in Brazil,
Yeah, like a Sunday market, but
like a
not on
Sunday
Sunday.
market.
Yeah.
And so the janitor of the building that we lived in, he helped me with some wooden box, and I put up a stand on the Sunday market to sell those things. So I was there. I don't know, maybe 9 or 7.
Did you sell any? Did you sell any?
It kind of, I was, and nobody was stopping. And then I remember clearly, a lady stopped, looked at me, and said, "Boy, these things are horrible." And I sunk. I sunk. And then she looked at me and said, "Look at me," she said, "but your blue eyes are so beautiful that I'll take 2. I said, "Yes, that's all I need." I don't care if it's about the dishes or my eyes, but yes, take 2. And I sold them all.
That's
So
that's
that
that.
always,
See,
these things are horrible. So end of the word, give up. But all of a sudden, your fate and your luck comes in, and the tide shifts, and everything falls in place. Just pursue your dreams and trust them, man.
yeah, exactly. And if you have baby blue eyes, also helps. I'm sure. I'm sure. That's great.
Fake
Leo,
stocks.
what'd you say, Leo?
I said whether it's bottles or fake stocks or lead pellets or McDonald's uh, BOG cards. Hey, got to start early.
You got to make it happen. You guys got to make it happen. Well, hey, this has been a fire episode. We're going to have to do this in 2 pieces because there's so much other things that I want to get into, but we want to keep these around 30, 40 minutes long, so we'll have to catch you. Grandpa, when are you back from your travels?
I'm back on July 1st. I'm out for a month.
No. All right. Okay, well,
We can do it from there.
yeah, oh, true. Okay, that's right. That's right. On the boat? No. Or I guess
Yeah,
we'd have to.
eventually, I'll check, signal coverage. I'm not sure. I probably won't have Starlink, but I'll check whenever. The first week from this coming Saturday through the next Saturday, I'll be on the boat. Then
Okay.
I'll be in land.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, then we can definitely do it. I mean, we'll have to do part 2 of Money and Marketing episode. So we'll have to do that. To end it off on a fun note, guys, here, a little fun question. All right, so picture this. You have a plate. It's a pretty big sized plate. Okay, I mean, it's a good plate. And it's your final meal of your life. Except you're able to divvy up your plate however you want. So you could be like, hey, I want a little bit of this here. I want this much of this and this much of this. And anyways, what is your guys' final meal plate setup looking like?
You got a plan for your death sentence, right, Rafa? But typically, as somebody on death row, you don't get to divvy up the plate. So
Yeah, you just gotta pick one. But no. I want you guys to divvy up your plate. What is your final meal? Let me hear it.
feijoada.
That's it?
That's it. No divvy up. Just a big fat feijoada.
I mean, it's good, but come on.
What do you mean? Okay, with rice, with couve, with farofa, with molho campanha, with pimenta, with a lot of like the nice cut of meats.
And that's all part of feijoada.
That's
Fair.
yeah, and like a little few orange slices for decoration.
All right.
I'll probably eat on my last meal, but okay.
How about you, Grandpa?
A steakhouse. A good Brazilian steakhouse.
All right. Well, what cuts and what kind of cuts?
Churrasco.
Yeah, churrasco.
Mm,
The ones that you
slice
slice
off.
and have
What's
sides.
How about you, Rafa? You obviously thought about this very carefully. Well, what would you have on your divvied up plate?
So I would have, first of all,
Take your time.
I'd have the best, Oh yeah, you want that? I'll hit you guys
Yeah,
with
we
that.
do. We want to hear that. All right, bring your napkins.
I'd have the best steak you could probably think of. I don't know what kind of steak, like some crazy, like a Wagyu filet mignon, something like that. Right there, medium, but it would have to be medium rare. If not, I'm sending it back to the kitchen. Then we'd have some like high quality sushi. Then we'd just have some low quality hot Philadelphia from Brazil sushi, also a little bit of sushi. I think we'd have on there some, oh man, a piece of salmon. It's a big plate, by the way, just so you guys know. I'd have a nice piece of salmon there. I'd also have maybe a little bit of kimchi. I do love some kimchi. I'd have some rice and beans with a fried egg on top. With some
That's perfect combination.
and
Yeah.
but the thing is, my plate would kind of be like the McDonald's back then. It would have dividers, so it'll be a big plate. So I'd have a
You know
little
what
bit
it
of
sounds.
that.
You know what it feels like. You know when you go to a pizza joint late at night when they're about to close and they have like one slice left of each pizza that they sold, and then they combine them all in their last dish. So you have one slice of each flavor, and it goes for 50% off.
Right. Well, maybe it's cheating, but I'd probably have something like that, or just like an incredible bone-in ribeye tomahawk steak. Maybe if I had to go for one. But yeah, that would be me. That would be my choice.
A family of meat eaters, huh? Every single dish here is like
We're all vegan vegetarians, as you can tell.
We
Absolutely.
should bring Victor in.
For real. Oh,
he would definitely go meat heavy too, for sure.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah.
he would definitely eat all of our plates though. That's the thing though. That guy Victor has a crazy big appetite. Matter of fact, is he there right now, Dad?
Yeah, he's somewhere back there. Yeah.
Trying to. Hey, Victor,
What's up?
you're live on air right now. If you had your final meal, what final meal would you eat?
You can run here and let us know,
Probably
not on the phone. Run
a
here.
steak.
Come here.
Hold on. What would it be?
Tell him to come here.
Probably a steak with
Bingo.
some sausage, some farofa,
What did I tell
just
you?
like a barbecue.
Barbecue.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, bro. Get your ass up, bro. Let's go seize the day.
I'm the only one that had
Bye.
couve, which is like collard greens. Hey, I had collard greens on mine. Okay. For the plant lovers out there, collard greens all the way.
All right, beautiful guys, awesome. Well, it's been a great episode here so far. So much to talk about, so little time. You know, time, like we mentioned, biggest currency in the world. So stack it up, enjoy
There
it,
you go.
choose where you spend it, and with whom. On that note, let's end it off on a nice little.
Don't
see
rush
you
it.
guys.
Be happy.
We'll see you guys in the next episode. Adios. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Boa viagem.